it's Leanne and I'm here today with my September wrap up. Actually, to be perfectly honest, I'm kind of here today with my September and August wrap up because I didn't do one for August. Mostly because of all this kitty cuteness, to be perfectly honest. And a crippling lack of creative confidence, but we're definitely going to talk about that one another day. So I'm going to fly by the stuff that I read in August, which isn't that much, so don't worry, it's not going to be an absolutely killer long video. I lied. Video now, part 1 and part 2, August, September, because I can't shut up. August, I read 5 children's picture books. I read 2 or 3 of them for review, and the rest just because they were beautiful and they were in front of me in my store. I'm not going to talk massively about them here because I'm going to do a separate video with a review of all of them. But the first one that I read was Super Happy Magic Forest by Matt Long, which is basically like being really high for a really short amount of time and then crashing back to earth. Then I read Home by Carson Ellis, which is a stunningly illustrated circular narrative about places that we choose to live both in our minds and with our physical bodies. Then I read The Bear with the Piano by David Litchfield, which is the most beautiful children's picture book I have ever seen in my entire life, and I kind of want David Litchfield to illustrate all of the stories that are in my head. But that might take quite a long time and I would have to, house him and feed him and pour. Then I read the absolutely hilarious Oi Frog by Kes Gray and Jim Field. This is a look at difference and what society tells us is the norm, and remembering that we can always ask questions, and the wonderful Oi Dog, which is clearly the follow-up to Oi Frog, and it's about breaking conventions and getting angry and protesting and everything, except it's for a 5-year-old audience, but not really. It's clearly for also parents, and it's wonderful. So I will talk about all of these babies in another book video. I totally know how to camera. I also read, but do not have with me, Post-Secret Extraordinary Confessions from Ordinary Lives, put together by Frank Warren. This is basically a postcard-shaped book of all of the submissions to Post-Secret on postcards, gathered... Shush. Filming. Rude. Gathered from the website. I was doing a huge clear out of books. I found it, I thought I haven't read this since 2005, so I read it. I still didn't like it very much, so I've given it away. Next, I read a book that I loved that I was not expecting to love in a million years. I kind of swore off Gillian Flynn. And then Claire from the book Fox went, oh no, 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 my friend, you must read Dark Places. And because I am a slave to all of Claire's whims, I picked up Dark Places and promptly flew through it. Dark Places is about Libby Day, who is the one and only survivor of the Kentucky, Kansas farmhouse massacre. Now, years later, she is running out of money from the fund which was set up for her for donations from the public following her being orphaned. And she really, really needs money because she really, really does not intend to get a job and live like a real person, because she really, really can. At the beginning of this novel, Libby is contacted by a group of murder enthusiasts who like to solve the unsolvable. And Libby, who at this point will pretty much do anything for some money, agrees initially to interview people from her past. I'm probably going to do a full review on this for Crime Corner later on because I fell in love with this novel. It is dark, it is twisty, it is disturbing, it made me feel sincerely skeevy at some points. It's even giving me a bit of the right now thinking about it. But that was everything that was right about it. And the last thing that I read in August was something that I gave 5 stars, and I would have given 50 stars to it if I could possibly have done so. This is Smoke Gets in Your Eyes by Caitlin Doughty. Hands down, it was my favourite book of the month. It's definitely going to be in my top 10 of 2016 and probably really close to the top. Essentially, for those of you who have never heard of Caitlin Doughty, and exactly where have you been for your entire life, Caitlin was a mortuary assistant, and she now runs the Order of the Good Death and the YouTube channel Ask a Mortician, which I will also link to below. She advocates more realistic and back to basics ideas of death and funeral care. She is very progressive in the funeral industry, and because of this, the funeral industry, which makes a lot of money, by the way guys, in America, the funeral industry don't really like Caitlin, but Caitlin could give less than a shit about this. Because before Caitlin had made up her mind about what she thinks about death, she first had to become a mortuary assistant and learn to cremate bodies and learn to dress bodies and learn to make bodies passable for viewings. FYI, if you're squeamish, this is absolutely not the book for you, and if you really struggle with the idea of intimate details about death, don't read this book. It's not the book that you are looking for. If, on the other hand, you are fascinated by the idea of why we are so terrified of death and our removal from it, this is the book to pick up. Also, if you like snide and you like sarcastic and you like hilarious and you like powerful women doing what they believe in, this is very much the book for you. Part 2 up tomorrow, so stay tuned for more rambling